I don't know who's in yet. What's up, whoever's coming in?
Can your chef's knife do this? This handcrafted Japanese knife.
I don't know who's in yet. I'm just kind of holding to see who's gonna come on. Woot, woot. Y'all, I gotta go get new glasses. Well, whoever's coming on, I know this may play earlier. Hit a like, thumbs up, share it out. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, see who comes in. If nobody come in, I'm still gonna talk about what I'm talking about. Shay E, what's up, baby? Shay, where you at in the country? Make sure y'all give me likes, thumbs up, share it out. I got the other one. Get the chat going. Oh, Minnesota. Okay. Oh, you drive? Shay, girl or guy? And I'm thinking Shay mean female. Are you female? Okay. Yeah, yeah. The what do you do reefer? What kind of truck? I gotta get glasses, y'all, cause right now, even right now, it's blurry. I need to get new reading glasses. Where am I doing? Look, y'all, you can put the gear on the geeks. Oh man, what a difference a day makes. It's sad now. The age will be on you. Reefer, container, or drive in. Woo! Yeah, I was not a morning driver. I'm gonna let you know. When I drove, I am a night driver. Put me in the middle of the night. That's one of the reasons I like reefer, because most reefer delivers by early in the morning. So you finishing up or it delivers at night. And then after you get there, you take your butt to bed. You don't have to start out till sometime in the afternoon. That's one of the things I did like about it. I did hazmat. Okay. Yeah, I used to take whatever the chemicals were to make paint over in Canada. Um, to what's the name of the paint company? Like Benjamin Moore, one of them paint companies that's up there. Canada's pretty though. I wouldn't mind living in Canada. It's very pretty. Cold though. They got some. I never went up in there in winter. I had left right before winter, so I never went up in there in the winter time. Hey Rochelle, what's up, baby? Rochelle, where you at in the country? In Minnesota, Shay, you guys starting to get cold? You should be starting to get cold, right? Because y'all winters are hellish. I know that. I've been up there in the winter time. Oh, Jersey, all right. Bruce, I got a friend of mine. She's a flight attendant. One of my homegirls. She's a flight attendant out there. For where's she? At? She in Newark. She based out of Newark because that's the airport, and she's a flight attendant for United. That's my homegirl. Okay. Yep, you're starting to get cold. Yeah, you gonna have some snow here coming. Okay, yeah, she in Newark. I don't know where she in Newark. Matter of fact, she was staying in Philly for a minute, because she had another homegirl. Because a lot of flight attendants, she's not married. Well, she was married before for a minute, and then when her and her husband divorced, and then she went. A lot of when she first before she ever got married, she was doing what they call crash pads. So that's what she's in right now. But one of her homegirls is married to one of the pilots. She's a flight attendant too, married to a pilot, and so she was doing a crash pad in Philly, but then went back to Newark because it's closer, and especially after the whole pandemic. And she started because she was doing international flights prior to the pandemic, but then she had gone back right before the pandemic to domestic because she said she kind of knew it was coming because the travel industry, especially that kind of travel industry, they know ahead of time. What's up, the Oracle? What's up, baby? Where you at in the country, babe? And what's the weather? Look, in Newark, y'all should be cooling off too. Yeah, well, actually, y'all got them storms coming right now. How y'all handling with them storms? Actually, I just talked to Shanae yesterday. My friend's name is Shanae. And I just talked to her yesterday. That's a ride or die, sister, y'all. Let me tell y'all. I'll share that with you. And then, Oracle, let me know where you at. Oh, you in Dallas. Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. Dallas. I remember when y'all went through that weird freeze. Girl. My brother, one of the brothers I raised, my brother, he's actually the general manager for that Hilton Homewood Suites out there in Dallas. And I got nieces. Matter of fact, the one who's incarcerated, I just sent my niece a message. My brother who's in prison, his daughter that I just met at the funeral. Girl is gorgeous. She's just a pretty girl. Let's see, Dallas. Yeah, y'all got storms. Well, I don't know. We might get some rain and stuff, so I need to get out here and start getting that fall garden now that they got that back cleaned up. Oh, y'all had trees down already this morning? Yeah, y'all, yeah. That. Well, I saw it on the news. That Jersey storm was not pretty. It was. It wasn't cute. It wasn't cute. Not whatsoever. And y'all, if y'all see me leaning in, that's because I had the phone sitting. At the phone sitting, because I don't know what, and I don't. So I'm going to work on the laptop because the laptop's getting fixed. I got my other memory card, so I gotta be working on that. If not tonight, tomorrow, because I want to start getting my resumes out. Because I'm gonna. The company I'm at, it's not a bad company. They've added sales, and I hate sales. The other part is that they want to go back into the office in January, and I really, 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 really love working from home. And y'all seeing me wear my geeks? These are my geeks because I'm trying to read that screen. But I got another set, and I had bought these a long time ago. I didn't even need glasses back then when I bought these. I just thought I liked the frame, and I was gonna have them take the lenses out and make them into sunglasses because these frames. I just thought the frame was hot, right? But now my old behind, they don't come in handy. Cause when I want to read, they there. But I need to go and I need to set up a new prescription, a new appointment to get a new prescription. I don't know about the distance part. I do need the reading glass part though. Ooh, so it's blurry right now until I come in because these are really strong, and the other ones work better. But I love these, and that look is cool, ain't it? That's a cool. These some cool. I love these glasses from the time I saw them. And initially, before I ever needed glasses, these are just reading glasses. But before I was like, I want to take these frames and turn them into some cool sunglasses. But I like those. But let me go back to my geeks because these have, and what I did find out, this is the first time I had to get, they call them progressives, which I think is a more nice way of saying your behind is old or you can't see good and you need bifocals because all progressives are bifocals. So the top part is your distance and the bottom part is your reading glass. I don't like progressives. I want reading glasses and then I want my distance glasses. I want two different dang glasses. I don't want my glasses half and half. I've realized I don't like it. I don't like, these are my take get used to. I don't like it. All right, but I can see. Let's see, Dallas, we had storms coming. We had trees down this morning. I know the time is going super fast. It was just like last night. Wow. Yeah, this is the first time I did the progressives. I'm not feeling the progressives. Next go round, I'm going to do. Like I said, I have actually the company I'm at. I can get new frames, so I'm actually going to get. What if my prescription has changed significantly, I'm going to go ahead and get a new set of distance glasses, and then I'm also going to get a reading glass. If my distance hasn't changed, because my last distance hadn't really changed, it was the reading part that was becoming funky. So I'm going to get some reading glasses, and I want them separate. And I actually, VisionWorks just hit me up because my company that I have is VSP, which is the company, and I like VSP. I've used them a long time ago. So I'm going to call because there's a VisionWorks, I think. Matter of fact, if I go, I'm going to go over that. It's over near the Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's. And I love me some Trader Joe's. I like Whole Foods too, but I love Trader Joe's. And I have not been in the Trader Joe's. I can't even imagine what it was like during the pandemic. Or during the early part of the pandemic, because we still in the pandemic, right? So I can't even imagine what it was like during the early part of the pandemic. I bet you it was hellacious. Um, I just got this from Amazon, and I got it when we went on the trip to Lubbock. So it takes care of y'all. If y'all can see that, it's got like every possible. So USB for a regular phone charger. You got two charger, and I don't know. I think one is charger and upload link for your iPhone connections, and then you got this one right here. I forgot what they call this type of port for the. It works for the iPad, and so and it's got the fast charger on here. So I bought, and it came in a packet of two. We have Amazon because you can get stuff. Granted, I probably could have went to Wish and got it cheap, but it might be sitting on them containers in the ocean coming from China. So anyway, y'all, let me see what we got going on here. All right, looks like we got 7 folks in here. Is it 7 folks in here? Let me see who all came in. Hold on. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Got Shay, got Rochelle, got the Oracle. Yeah, I like them because it does everything you need. I mean, it's got thing. And Oracle, are you an educator or are you like are you like part of the administration? Like you help like counseling and stuff like that, like help them sign up for classes. Are you an educator? I don't want you giving all your business, but you understand. I'm just kind of curious. And I asked it because I'm thinking that's been something on my mind. I actually got to reach out to my tax guy because I'm thinking about going back to school. Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know I got educators in the family, right? My aunt is she's a retired school teacher. She has her master's and her bachelor's. Yeah, her bachelor's and well, obviously you have to have bachelor's. She has a master's and bachelor's. I know her bachelor's was from ASU. Her master's was from U of A. And then my brother right now, and I got to get in touch with him. Him and his wife, they're both. I think they met at ASU. Both of them went to pretty much ASU. The one who's here, and I know he's getting his. I think he's getting his doctorate, and I think he's got a bachelor's and 2 masters, and he's getting his doctorate. But I'm thinking about because I realized later, and I was telling Joe this because his nephew's going to school, and I said your nephew. He's got one nephew out of the madness who's really a decent kid. He's got some issues, generational curse stuff, but he's better than the rest of his siblings. And I told him, I said, one of the things, the reason I know I did not finish college was because I should have left away from my family. I should have went to a school where I was living in the dorms. I would have finished then. Because if I would have lived on campus, I would have got it done. Um, and that was one of the reasons I didn't. Costco paper towel, y'all. I can't go any other way. Other than I'm getting ready to order the washable paper towel, the recyclable. There's a recyclable. Basically, what they do is they take something similar to this, like they have. I don't know if it's permanent or paper, if it's a cardboard, or I think it's probably not. And they wrap them around, and it's like cloth, and then you just put them in the wash, and then you wrap them back up, and you reuse them just like paper towel. So I'm probably gonna order some of those to alleviate some of my paper usage. Okay, y'all see my net? I don't know if y'all can see a little buzzard. I said, this desk little bastard. We've been cool up until I did this. It's like, okay, I thought I had gotten rid of them, most of them. I hadn't had any problems, little buzzards. Yeah, I'm going, but if I go, it's not really, and you can't say it's career wise. I want to go for theology. I want to go for my passion, and I know where my interest lies. And a lot of times, I think initially when I was going to school, I was looking at money. I really wanted to be a doctor. That was out of high school. I wanted to be a heart surgeon. That was actually my dream job. But then I had all the family drama, so I ended up. And even though my mother's father, he loved me, he had butthole personalities too. And by the time it was over, I just really wanted to get away from family, and the damage was already done with how I grew up under my mother. So, and then dealing with my grandfather, he trust me, my grandfather loved me, but at the same time, after staying with him and understanding he was damaged too from some things that happened. I don't know how his childhood was, but I do know how his marriage was to my mother's mother, and it was not good. Her mother was horrible. Her grandmother, which would be my great grandmother, was horrible. And there were things I found out that she used to say to my grandfather, my mother's father, and his wife. her daughter never said anything or defended him, to my understanding. And the mother would just talk about him and say he was stupid, all this other stuff, because my grandfather had a third grade education. So he couldn't read or write when he met my grandmother. My grandmother actually taught him to read or write. And then there was other damages that took place in that household that it just very dysfunctional in its own way. Different type of dysfunction from Monty's dysfunction. Monty's dysfunction was what I call ghetto dysfunction, bunch of ghetto stuff. And I also think Grumpy's dysfunction still more. I think there's some mental health issues in Monty's line, as I have pondered and interacted with the extended family of his, and just thinking back to just even conversations, interactions, and what I know of them, like the cousin John. Like I said, I knew him since I was a little girl. I knew him. I had interacted with John, and I interacted with him all the way up into my teen years. Actually, even into my adult years, I interacted with John. And John was wretched then. I just he was. I didn't really deal with him a lot, but I just knew. I just knew shady, shisty, ghetto, hood, ninja. So, but I think in Grumpy's line, as I start thinking back to that family, and I'm sorry, y'all, I've been doing stuff to my desk, and I got a cable organizer. I got to organize these cables, and they got us on this Chromebooks for this job. it's Look, I'm gonna tell y'all, I will never own a Chromebook. This right here, I always wondered about it, but I ain't gotta wonder no more. Me and Chromebook, we so cool on it. Chromebook is hard. Chromebook and I, we're good. They ain't never got to worry about me and Chromebook. They ain't got to worry. But no, I did some desk cleaning. My desk was horrible, and I cleaned. I told you I ordered a new pad. I had to order the new desk pad. I got that ordered. So, yeah. Anyway, well, I'm just gonna get into my topic today. Let me see what y'all got on here. Yeah, I'm gonna get in there and people can watch later if they want to. Other than that, so I was gonna talk a little bit because we got into a topic last week, and it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind. And first of all, I want to say how I met Truckerette. So if she does watch this, it's all love. We might agree to disagree on some stuff, and I mean, I don't know if that was her perspective, but I figured she asked the question because that's how she felt, and she's welcome to her feelings. This the Chromebook I got for work, and the other company, the trucking company, I had a laptop. It was a ThinkPad. Now I will say this company, all the other equipment, I got ThinkPads for monitors. They monitors on hit. The other trucking company, the monitors cheap as hell. But they monitors right here. I'm like, I might get. Well, actually, I want to get that monitor that kind of curves out. I want to get one of those. I've been looking at those. Right now, though, we got to get a car and a couch. Because I need a car and a couch. And I don't know. We're gonna have to pray on the car because the prices of used cars is going through the roof. And it's gonna be bad for a minute. People think this is only lasting for now. Child, bye. It's gonna be bad all the way through end of next year, if not worse, depending on what they do with their budget. So let me first go back and talk about how I met Truckerette. So me and Truckerette actually met in person. We actually worked at the same trucking company. And we met at the driver's lounge in Phoenix, walking to the ladies' bathroom. So I know Truckerette. So I want to say that first of all. So I actually still like the sister, got no issues with her. And she's not the only one who I've heard that from. I even got friends of mine right now who were supposed to be part of Christian groups who have gone different routes and are not practicing Christian type stuff. They've gotten into more pro-black, groups, even semi-type religious groups that are ratchet, in my humble opinion, and don't line up with Christian stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna say that right off. So there's no ill will. We just don't agree. We agree to disagree. Okay. So I know I came kind of hard because it is a very passionate thing about me. And like, it's not like I talk to Trucker on the phone. Every so often she'll comment on videos or she'll put something on here when she has the time. And I think she's working in the office now in a trucking company as well. And I'm wondering if she's working in the office at the trucking company that we were at. But we ran into the bathroom, we ran into each other in the bathroom, and I didn't, I've ran into a few subscribers. I ran into a brother at one trucking company I was at. I ran into a young sister who got into trucking. Um, and who was I working for? Oh, I was working for the little company out of Utah. And I ran into her in Jacksonville, Florida, at a TA. Young baby. And she got a really good job. She went to trucking school and they gave the baby a brand new truck. She was working for JBS Swift Beef. Yes, she was. And they gave her like a beautiful Peterbilt. And I ran into her there. It was a young girl, and I had talked to her a little bit about safety because she had done some things that were just. She was young. When I say young, that baby was just old enough to get into trucking. So 21, I'm thinking. And she had her little truck all dolled up with pink stuff. Very girly girl, sweetheart, very very sweetheart, very attractive little baby too. And that's when I told her, I said, I'm gonna talk to you. So I bought her dinner, and she's like, you're a trucker doll. I said, yeah. I bought her dinner. And I said, I'm going to talk to you, and then I got to go take my shower. Because I said, I'm going to eat, and then I was going to pay for I was going to get my shower, and then we were at the TA there in Jacksonville. And I told her, I said, first of all, you parked in a bad space. She parked really far back, and it's probably because she's still working on her backing. And there wasn't a lot. I said, I said, it's good to practice back there, but in the nighttime, you pull that truck up close to this door as you can. Especially walking across this field, because you're attractive. And these little, excuse my French, horny butt males out here, and you got some of them that ain't, some of them felons, and I'm not saying a felon might be a rapist, and you got some that ain't felons that's on the way to being a felon, and some of them that just is shady McLaughlin and crazy. So you need to be careful. I carried myself a lot of times. I had on jackets so you couldn't see breasts. I'm fat, so you just thought I might have been fat. My hair is always short, or I had a baseball cap on, so you wouldn't necessarily always know I was a girl. And I'm okay. If you don't bother me none. I'm not trying to say I want to be a boy, but in that environment, you want to be more safe. But me and Truckerette met in the bathroom of our terminal. We were walking, and she said, "Aren't you Trucker Doll?" That's the first time we met, and I was like, "Yeah." I went to the bathroom. We talked for a little bit at the sink. And then I think I had a load or something. So we didn't get to talk long. And then all of a sudden she was on the channel. And I didn't know she subscribed until I met her in the bathroom. So I do know Truckerette. I know her. I mean, in the sense of not like we're friends, but we just, cross paths. With that being said, you said I sent my Chromebook, girl. You don't even know. They got so many issues. Me and Miss Linda. Linda said, she said they did everything. I told the tech guy one time couldn't have a problem get in. I told him, I want to thank you, the company I work for, because I said I was looking at the Chromebook, so nice and cheap, and I understand. I said Google need to stick to their lane. Their lane is email and search engines. Y'all need to stay out of Microsoft and Apple's way. Let them do them. You're not them. Your job is search engines and Gmail. You don't need to do. You don't need to do nothing with a computer. Leave the computer to the people who know, and it ain't you. Baby, it ain't you. It's Dell, it's HP, it's Microsoft, it's Apple, and some other ones. It ain't you. You leave it to them. Y'all stick to the internet stuff. Let the hardware makers and the only other software people is Apple and Microsoft. Let them do them. Y'all, that right there is a piece of crap. I'm just saying. It's junk. I don't want your laptop. I don't want none of that. You can't help me. Oh, okay, y'all. See my sarcasm? It starts coming on. Anyway, so when she came in here, I've had people, and it's been on my mind, that conversation, that statement she made. And this weekend, I kind of got on there because, like I said, even on my Christian channel, I have some old friends that used to be in Christian stuff with me. And they have gone a totally different route. They've gotten very heavy into pro-black. I forgot what they call these people. And there's a word something they say, and you kind of know it's them. And it's a group, and they always tell you, bless up. That's it. Bless up. What the hell is bless up? But it's part of something with this little pro-African religious group. and they claim like some kind of tribal heritage through, they grab, I don't, Hotep, I don't know who that is, but maybe that's them. It's weird. And it's bless up. I'm like, who does that? But they claim kind of like they're some special tribe, and they picked out some piece of script. I can't. And so I'm gonna have to look up Hotep. Maybe that is them. Weird to me. So, and I see a lot of this resurgence happening, and it's happening for a lot of reasons. Obviously, with and again, I'm opening up a little bit more on the channel because I'm not working for the racist trucking company where they got Donald Trump paraphernalia all over the office. Also, I got sick of hearing his name. And I got sick of a lot, and I'm still sick of a lot of the promotion of him because news companies want to get numbers opposed to realize how ratchet he was. And to me, he's a child who wants attention. So I use the example, and I think I talked about this. I think I hope it's on here. It might have been on the Christian channel. I might get them mixed up. I'm getting old, y'all. So you get people. I think I did talk about here where Grumpy has said I practice being an a-hole. So in a good analogy of that, once I understood it, was if you have children, if anybody's raised children or you have children or you've been around children, if you're in a household or even understand the dynamics of a household, you have, let's say you have two children. You got one child who's really, really good. He does good in school. He's a good kid, overall good kid. I mean, typical mess ups of children. The other child may be jealous of his sibling. So what he does on the opposite end, he becomes the a-hole. He becomes the one who's horrible, who's bad, because if I can't get attention under my own skill set of being me and I'm insignificant because maybe I'm average, maybe I'm not as smart as my brother or sister or whoever. So now what I'll do is I'll become more negative so that I can get the spotlight shined on me. And oftentimes the worst kid gets the more attention. That's the truth because they act enough of a fool that you always having to discipline them. You always having to address their madness and their drama. Grumpy. My friend's nephew. I got a friend of mine. He had a nephew. Madness, just absolute drama. And I didn't even know the other nephew's name because I always heard about this one. I'm like, oh my God. And then he said something. I was like, well, I was wondering what was up with him. And what's his name again? Because all you heard was the madness of the one who was a butthole. So oftentimes you always have that. So the same thing has happened and permeated in our community is that when something becomes light, all of a sudden the darkness is, and so this guy who was in office before, I got sick of hearing about him. And a lot of my best friend hates him. I don't hate him. I actually felt sorry for him because I realized he's a damaged kid. And oftentimes when those behaviors come out, it's because kids. Well, the same thing has happened in our society. So the damages and the things that we have seen under that permeating behavior, it wasn't that racism didn't exist in America. We always knew it existed. What happened is we were working through the racism and we've been working through it and we've been living through it and it was being swept under the carpet in most parts, not every part, because you can go in parts of this country where they basically let you know what you are. But when that gentleman got in office, he pulled back the rug and just showed us all. He just basically pulled down his pants and pulled back the rugs and say, I can show you my butt, my front, all of it dangling, and show you the crack of America and me. And hey, oh well. And it unleashed something spiritually in this country on all levels and worldwide that I'm going to say for biblical reasons needed to happen. Okay. So we had all this craziness, all this madness that unleashed and it impacted us and we don't realize why and how it impacted us. So we have a group of our own folk who have started dipping back and dipping into not only back but forward into more pro, and I hate the term back, but pro black mindsets and thought processes. Hey, what's up, flatbed baby? On Waco. What's in Waco? I've been to Waco. I've been to Waco. Oh, you know what's there? Well, it used to be called what's the singer? Oh my God. There was a truck stop for my first truck stop there. Used to have a great cafe. Country and Western Star. Willie Nelson's place. It's not owned by him anymore. I think it's owned by Pilot or Flying J now. But it was Willie Nelson's place on way through Waco. Love that spot. Good trucking stop. I don't know if they still have the. They had a recording studio in there for him. They had the restaurant in there. They were the first ones I saw with the big biodiesel tank in there. But anyway, if you ever get by there, I don't know. You have to look it up, but it'll give you the same location. But it was called Willie Nelson's place. Yep, Willie Nelson's place, and I think it's owned by Pilot Flying J. They got a pretty big parking lot too for trucks, just so you know. Okay, that damn net. I hate nets. Y'all. Anyway, so what ended up happening, we got a lot of us that have gone into this pro-black thing. And the other problem is that because of what we've seen in the abusive that have now, the cell phone, it's changed the game. It's changed the game in a lot of ways, because the same way I was recording conversations at that trucking company where I was being treated funky and recording how I was being talked to, and I still have the recordings. And actually, I'm gonna still send a letter over here to the EOC, and I'm even though I'm not filing against them, I'm gonna tell them, if you ever do a class action against that company, I have some things that I believe may help you, and if you want, I have no issues testifying against them. Baby, I have zero problems testifying on what I went through and what I saw. And if you can get in touch with that girl that they got rid of, or I don't know if she quit or they fired her prior to me, I'll even testify about what I saw them do with her. I ain't got no problems. Shady and ratchet. And that's okay. And they're large. They're going to have it. It's not a doubt in my mind. It's just a question of when. It's like Walmart is doing some shady stuff too, and they actually, that's why now they started begging for women and minority truck drivers, because they used to discriminate against both. But anyway, so what's happened is that we've gotten this thing in us now where we have become defensive. And we now are questioning everything. And we're angry because we're now seeing. We knew it existed. At least my generation did. I'm 53. My father's generation, my mother's generation, they knew. We knew the type of discrimination. We knew that LAPD would take, minorities and in the hood and beat up on them and whoop up on them and do all sorts of madness. We knew they were doing shady stuff. We knew they covered up a lot of stuff. We knew. But with the advent of the cell phone, it's shown us now how bad discrimination is. Okay? And it's not only shown us, but because we're now a social media driven environment, it's shown the world. So we're seeing worldwide discrimination, classism. We're seeing it on a global level. Okay, we're seeing it worldwide. What also we're seeing, but we're not talking about, is discriminations within the groups. So Latinos, Asians, Blacks. Okay, and we're not talking about that because what has permeated us, and I'm saying us, I'm using all of us as minorities. I ain't talking to Anglos. If y'all watch, white folks, Anglo people, if you watch, I hope you grow from it. I hope I bless you in some way, and you may even challenge your own personality and attitude. We in America, I can't speak to any other country, we have been raised up in a racist society. And all of us, including African Americans, have racist views. Point blank, period. Because we've been raised up in it. We have racist views even within groups. We have biases within groups, which is sad, but also that poison has been planted to keep us from being a collective unit. If minorities were a collective unit, we outnumber and outpower Anglos with the exception of money. But if we knew how to manage our money, and all of us are guilty, we would outpower them on that level. But they've got a leg up on us because they come from either acquired wealth that they've passed down. They cover each other up for their corruption that they do, and they sit in governmental positions of power where we don't. And then we have infighting within ourselves. So Latino people think less of African American people, Asian people think less of African American people, vice versa. So then we have this, and we don't have unity. And if we got on a unity page and we came to that, but we have to understand poison has been planted in the ranks. So I just wanted to sit that. I don't know what she's saying. Oh, okay. I just wanted to sit that on the table. Okay. Now I want to kind of back up to what Truck Red said, and the reason I put that out there is because what I want you to understand, it's about what we think. It's about how we perceive. It's about how we understand, and it's about what we've let in without educating ourselves, without fully understanding, and jumping on bandwagons based on maybe sometimes emotions and ignorance. I can't even put it any other way. Okay? And ignorance to me, ignorance doesn't always mean like you're dumb. It means that you haven't been ignorant, means I don't know. Lack of knowledge, okay? Lack of knowledge. And you don't necessarily research for yourself. Hey, H.E. Bach, what's up? Hold on. Y'all got the glasses on. Yes, and that's exactly what, if y'all read H.E. Bach said, God has lifted the veil on atrocities committed in obscurity and exposed our own failings. That is point blank, period. But the problem is, we're jumping on these bandwagons, and then what we're doing, which is really, when we get real low, is when we get into trying to, I believe, place blame on God. That's when we get really low, okay? And the statement she made, she's not the only one. Well, what does the Bible say about why black people are treated so poorly or so badly, and why we basically are going through all this negative stuff? That statement, it turns me off because I aligned that statement, as y'all saw, I paralleled it with, why do you serve that white God? And the reason I paralleled it to that is because for you to make that statement tells me you have not really read the Bible. And if you have read the Bible, you haven't read it with understanding. Now, I'm going to tell you, have I read the Bible from front to back? I have not. Have I read a lot of books? I have. Have I heard the entire Bible? Yes, because I listened to it on audio. So I've heard it from front to back, but I've never physically sat down and read it from front to back. However, I have read a lot, a lot. And I'm probably not far away from doing a whole complete read of the Bible from front to back, but I jump around in books. So typical of somebody who sometimes studies, I probably need to get on a yearly read where I read through and just do it from front to back year. I haven't done that. That has not been my draw. My draw is sometimes I'll get a topic or a book of interest or something I feel the Lord wants me to focus on, and that's what I focus on. So like right now, it was getting through the Psalms and the Proverbs. I've gotten through all the Proverbs. I'm still going through the Psalms. If y'all don't know, the Psalms are very long. So when she said that, that turned me, and it's been on me all week. It bothered me because I know, and like I said, this is not a huge platform that I have, that other people have, but prayerfully it'll touch who it needs to touch. I know, and God help me say this in the right way so it reaches. God is deity, meaning he's God. And the premise of Christian belief system is that God spoke everything into existence. Go back to Genesis. He even spoke the creation of man into existence. Go back to Genesis. It says, quote unquote, that God even walked in the cool of the garden with Adam in the day. Matter of fact, when they fell and he heard God in the garden, that's when they went and hid behind the fig leaves. I believe it's fig leaves, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Now, we later jump to the New Testament where Jesus comes on the scene. And it's the Christian belief that Jesus is the Son of God, also known as the Messiah. Okay? In the book of John, which is the Gospel of John, it says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And I believe it says like the Word came and it dwelt among us, and somewhere in the part of the Bible as well. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Jesus is parallel to being the Word. So in our view, he is the Word. He's a literal Word. And he became literal action and then came in a flesh suit down here to introduce God to man in the part of also redeeming us, to fix a wrong and make it right by sacrificing himself, okay? Which was the plan of God the Father, which is why he was down here. Only two men have I'm going to say divine type births. One was Adam, and two was the second Adam known as Jesus. And the reason we call him the second Adam is because he did what first Adam didn't do right. He was obedient unto death and then was resurrected, okay? But he also came down from heaven. As the song says, he came from heaven to earth to show us the way. He came down from heaven to earth, is the belief of the Christian, in order to show us, the way, introduce us to God, and to mend the divide that was broken with Adam and Eve in the garden, back for direct communication without a priest, a rabbi, or any of that. You can go directly yourself to God. He mended that fence by dying on the cross and resurrection. Now, it was important for certain reasons, the lineage he came through. I'm not going to get into that part. The lineage he was of, if you go back and look at the begats, the begats, and the begats, and the begats, and the begats, was the Hebraic line, also known today as the Jews. Okay? Here is my problem and the biggest issue I had with what Truckerette put on the table, but also she's not the only one, with the mindset and the thinking of people when they ask the question, why do you serve that white God? And what does the Bible say about how black people are treated? First part is, as I said, Jesus is not white. But my problem is that we look at the Bible and Jesus' ethnicity. And what trumps, not his name, but Trump, meaning Trump the word, what trumps in ethnicity is that he was deity. He was God and is God. So, on our mindset as mankind, we are so small in our thinking that we want the Bible and God to be on our level. And we want to include him in the madness of the poison that has been put in the culture by a group of folk who mad and crazy anyway. And then we think we want God on our level. Somebody who spoke the universe into existence. Believing what I believe, somebody who could walk on water. Somebody, before he even showed up, and they broke out of Egypt, so to speak, that the water did this, and they walked across on dry land. And then when Pharaoh decided he was going to chase them, the water did that. At his direction and command. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody who let a family know to build a boat and flooded the planet for years, but saved animals and a family to continue mankind again. And we want him to be on our mental level. So we want you to handle things the way we want you to handle them because you're supposed to be on that level. So your race is important to me because that's what's important to some group that made a lie up that one group is better than the other group. And we've been suffering ever since. But we're not only suffering here. See, in America, it's color and it's race and classism. In other countries, it's classism. What about African countries where you have regimes and it becomes classist? Somebody always want to be better than somebody else. But the other problem is that we haven't stepped back again, reading a Bible, to understand that this is the same poison pill that was in the garden. Oh, surely on the day you eat of that tree, you'll be just like God. I don't even know if Eve was caring to be like God. Satan is the one who wanted to be God. But he planted the poison in the thought process. And the next thing it says is that she looks at the tree and says, oh, it's desirable to eat. Hey, what you say, Shay? No. Correct. And that's the problem. Because, and what it is, and Shay just said, class systems here too. People just, and as I said, it's both. It's racism and classism here in America. Here too, people just don't know how it's hidden. The class is black and white is not about race. It's both. Me and you here. But the biggest issue oftentimes is that, and this is kind of where I think this is a downfall for people who say the thing and think like Truckerette was saying. And there's a lot in the black community. She ain't alone. And in other communities, but in black community especially, is that we are looking at our own bubble. This is all I know. This is my world. And so to explore mentally outside of this world system, it's all about me. It's about me. Bible talks about in the last days, men will become lover of themselves. I mean, it's all about them. It ain't about nobody else. They don't even care about their fellow man. Let alone, they don't care about them. It's all about them. It's kind of like what I dealt with the kids. And God bless them. Here's a situation I have. Oh, well, he had a problem with you having XYZ. Oh, okay. Here you go. Here's the key. Sell it. And they're not going to sell it. And I pretty much know. I mean, I'm going to be highly doubtful if that ever happens. Because that's not the intention. You got a 30-year-old who's too young and then wants to ride around, think he cool in a broke down looking car. But it's okay. Do you, boo-boo. Because, again, it's about me. It's about me. I don't really give a damn about you. This is the same mentality right now. And because of the things that have happened to us, we now are only focused on us or my black plight or my class plight. And so you're not realizing it's more about, and Shay is right on the money. It's about, even the race is really, while that's used as a point, the other main point is I want to be in power, I want to be in charge, and I want you to be lesser than me so I can feel good about me. I want to be important. So what can I make importance about? Okay, I'm white, so I'm more important than you. I'm better than you. That's what I'm going to make this about. You got to change your thinking, and you've got to. If you cannot use racism in conjunction with your relationship with God, to me that is the biggest poison pill ever. It's deception, and it's dumb. You're trying to put God on a level that already has been racism has been a poison pill put into our society. And you're trying to put God in a category that's already foul. How? How are you going to do that? And why? You want God to be black, or you think that he's white, or, oh, the Bible's not meeting whatever your curriculum is that it should meet to meet your desired needs and or wants. Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's about me. I want it all about me. It's got to be about me. I want it about me. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Too many times we're making stuff about us and our situation, and we're trying to bridge God, Jesus into that madness. This madness, yes, it's spiritual, demonic spiritual. But again, in the church, we don't teach about the devil, so nobody thinks he exists. Weird though, we believe in God. Some people, most people believe that there's some kind of God or form of that. We believe in that, but we don't believe there's an enemy in the midst adding poison to the situation. So this poison, this thought process gets into the fabric of who we are. And here we have a group of people that came out of slavery with a strong Christian foundation and belief system, and we've just thrown that on the back burner and gone into other forms. That's another thing, other forms of religious belief, because we have this poison pill now in Christianity, especially in the black community, because we grew up and all our depictions of Jesus are a white man. Stop. Pick up the Bible and read it. And if you allow God's Spirit to come on board and show you, the very first thing you should understand is Jesus is deity. All he did was come down and be born into a flesh suit to redeem us, to help us get back. And better yet, where his father had chosen the Hebrews, Jews, as the chosen people, he even had an initial plan to save mankind from the very beginning and to bridge us back in the New Testament. So I'm grafting all men back in as long as you just receive me. Just receive who I am, receive where I came from, receive my grace and mercy. And if you receive Jesus, guess what? You're back in. Does it matter what ethnic suit he came into the planet on? No. He's deity. This is just a suit. This ain't even who I am. This Paul called it a tent. It basically it's just a housing for the spirit and the soul. It's a flesh suit. When I hit the casket, this thing, or however, when I transition, whether it's a rapture or the casket, this body is gone. If I go to the casket, it decomposes into dust, which man is made from. If I go through the sky, there's supposed to be a transition to the new body. Either way, on Christian belief system, either way, this is just a shell. It don't matter whether it's pink. It don't matter whether it's purple. It don't matter whether it's Latino, African American, Native American, Indonesian, Asian, Japanese, Chinese, African. It don't matter. This is just a suit. What's important is where the spirit and the soul are going and where they're at. So now we got to get our mind and our spirit on board instead of being caught up in trivial stuff about the flesh suit that God came in, and now going and trying to say, oh, well, the Bible, this and that, or looking at it in a negative connotation. The Bible gives a lot of wisdom, and it tells us the entire thought process of mankind. It gives, the Bible says nothing new under the sun. That's facts. It tells us behaviors of people with money. It tells us about ethnic differences. You can see that throughout the Bible. The different groups where people were from and the ethnic behaviors. Why do you think the Egyptians enslaved the Jews, or aka Hebrews, in Egypt? That's another thing. African Americans accuse me because we want to say the Egyptians are black. Egyptians were Egyptians. They were a people of color. I don't know that they were black as in how we are black, but we want to claim. One of the truckers on here, she's Egyptian, and she's from New York. And Monet, beautiful sister. You can tell sister is she got a little bit too much tattoos from me, but sister, good looking sister. Cool. Y'all saw her in the Danielle video. But that Egyptian skin, you see it. I could see. I was like, okay, I can see the Egyptian part beautifully. Egyptians are gorgeous. We want to attach those things to make ourselves feel better, and it kills me because back in the day too, when you had a pro-black, and we got the Egyptian pictures showing that that's us, and you might have came from Ethiopia. my background, at least what I know from Monty's mother, my grandmother, we know that the slave that came over, I think it was her father, her grandfather, was an Ethiopian slave, and he was from Ethiopia. So, why are we so caught up in, again, it's about me? And trust me, black folks over in this country, we done been through. We haven't been through slavery, but we go through some stuff. I done been through stuff on jobs. Like I said, I know it's straight discrimination. Not only one, several. My biological mother used to work for the same location my brother's at. Her boss used to pull, it used to be it was the community college district office where he's at now. It's now actually one of the schools. And that when she was first working there, she was working in Key Punch doing data entry. And I know, and I can't remember when she told me or who told me, but somebody, I think she's her made a statement. Her boss used to pull her in the room and call her a nigga all the time. And I'll never have a nigga as a supervisor. I'll just pull her in the room, say whatever he said, and use the word nigga all the time through and told her. And I sat there, and no wonder she was so mean and evil when she got home, because you just put up with all that discrimination in order to put food on the table. She's still a butthole, but that is hefty to have to put up with in order to bring home decent money and feed your family, and be told that I don't care when XYZ old girl, because her and her supervisor became very good friends, resigns, I'll never have a nigga as a supervisor. Basically, even though you next in line, I'm not putting you there. So those discriminatory behaviors, they haven't gone the same way I got pulled into a room. Now, they didn't use the N-word, but the way that girl was treating me, she was treating me like you was an ninja. Okay? That's exactly how she did. And it was allowed. Trump posters all over the place. But that's not it. It permeated their company. That's why when my homegirl Regina was there, and she walked, she said, "Have you looked at this company? There's none of us." And I was like, "No, they didn't do orientation for me." But I told her, I knew when she was coming to that little department, there weren't any women when she came into the breakdown group. An older lady came in, and then right after the older lady came Regina. But I told her, "You're going to be the only chocolate chip in that group." And, she saw enough to see, oh, no. She said, and straight up, we had a little conversation. And when she kind of gave me her scenario, I'm like, oh, and I said, then it started making sense on what I had seen with the Middle Eastern girl. Because for them, it's about the Anglos. Even the Latinos, unless you got on their page and you buddied up with them, the Latinos were more accepted, but even they were discriminating against even them. But if they got on a page, because their skin is lighter, it's not like this dark in most cases. It's more like this. They're more acceptable. We can deal with them because they don't look like you. You still ninjas. Be careful when you are reading God's word and using it in order to justify ethnic things of the nature and think you want God to be white. It's just like, he's not white, but that's how these folks want to portray him, because they want him on a physical level to be like them, to make them feel important. That's what they want. When they stand before God, that ain't what they gonna get. Because he gonna tell them, I don't know you, and I don't know you. Because it's not about that kind of relationship. It's not about his ethnicity in the sense of the suit he came in. It's about his deity and what it can do for us. and what it can do is save and transform. That's the power and that's the association you want to get. You also want to look at the Bible and understand he interacted and also gave grace and mercy to all peoples. It's no happenstance Joseph ended up in Egypt. It helped his people, but it also blessed the Egyptians and other cultures because God warned them there's a famine coming to the land. you, we got to be real careful. And when you get into the New Testament and Christ comes on the scene and he's speaking to, he came to talk to the Jews, but this Bible says they wouldn't receive him. So he went to the ones who would. And those were a plethora of different people from a bunch of different cultures. Some were, I hate to use the word mutts meaning mixed cultures. And he went to them. The woman on the well, she's mixed. One of the reasons why she was out there was that and her whole thing with the different men, but she was not a full-blooded Jew. And other people that he went to who weren't Jewish. That's why it says the Gentiles, meaning non-Hebrew Jews, were grafted back in. Come on. Stop getting caught up in the racial stuff in biblical things. It's dumb and it's stupid. Look at the Bible, that Christian book, which is a spiritual book, for what it's for. It's a book about your soul and your spirit and where it will spend eternity. And it's also a book to try to help you survive in the madness of here. As right now, like I said, I can see all around me a ton of stuff spiritually happening. Most people don't see it. They don't see it because, again, it's about me. So I only know my little bubble. So it's about me. The hell with you and everybody else. I don't care about anybody else. I'm going to transition and just use the personal situations. I'm going to go back to Grumpy. When I did that funeral stuff, when I set up the obituary, when I even talked to the half sister, I didn't make it about me. I tried to make it about them. That wasn't the same consideration I got back, but I leave that in God's hands because it was about them for them. It was about her and her brothers, and I was an ixnay. I done told you about the accounts with your name on it. When I wrote the obituary and I put the pictures in, mainly all of them, 2 little pictures with me, but mainly you, your brothers, the grandkids, picture with my brother Norris, because I know that you need closure, because you had a certain viewpoint you wanted him to be that he really wasn't. But you know what? I get the emotion. I get the loss for you. So I want to make sure you guys have closure. I want to make sure things are done right by you. Because if we don't get to a point where we can take our eyes that it's not just about me. See, if I would have went in just me, I would ask you about the car. Just take the car. I'm just going to take it. I'm taking it with me. I'm not going to ask you about nothing. I'm going to go in there and just get what I want. And the hell with all y'all because I'm the oldest kid. I didn't do that. I tried to include, try to talk, tell you things because I see it. Same way, right now, out of my time, I've got to reach out to a court system to get a hold of a mother so that she can hopefully, prayerfully, depending on the level of disability of the autism, something to help her and her child. Now, it's not coming out of my pocket, but if those benefits are there, I definitely want to let you know. Do you think that's something that they cared about, the mother ones? No, I don't give a damn. It's not my issue. Well, we don't care. When things happened and my mind was, let me get in touch with my brother, they on there, and God bless her. Girl, you see how long he gonna be in prison for? And he broke. Why are you wasting your time with that? We need to be trying to get a hold of the prison to get this boy news that his daddy is dead. This is his last. Well, he was our last. This is not a competition, sis. You already know. But you got to say goodbye to your mama. This boy didn't get to say goodbye to his mama. His mama was run over by a truck getting off the bus. He didn't get to say goodbye. She's dead. He didn't get to say goodbye to this one because he's incarcerated. You at least got to go spend time with your mom before she checked out. But it's okay because I realize, again, there's a difference between when it's about you and when it's inclusive. And even on an internal family level, we're on a human level. And right now, we know a lot of pink people, it ain't about us. But even within our own community, it ain't about us. As a group, it's about you individually. And in America, very self-centered. That's why you got people posing selfies. I can't stand them. I can't stand selfies. I hate them. That's why y'all don't see. So I'm starting been doing this lately. I don't know if y'all see the thumbnails for some of the videos. I just randomly pick stuff. Oh, the hot sauce. I was gonna talk about the hot sauce. I'll do it next time. But and the hot sauce is good, y'all. But I just randomly put stuff up because I don't want it to be this selfie picture. I hate it. I hate it. And the people who fake. I do that at my job. You got all these people, they be on there, and they want to portray this happy joy joy because that's how you kind of get promoted within this company is this fake happy joy joy. And I can't. I'm too real. And I'm not saying it's like you got to be negative, you got to be sad, but nobody is 24/7 like this. Nobody. And they be killing me because they be in skin like this. And I'm just like this because I'm like, oh my god. Can you just sit and? It's not that you're mad. You might be thinking, concentrating, listening. It's craziness. Anyway, that's my spiel, my rant. Let me see what else we got on here. Okay, Shay, you just opened up another door. So let me tell you, I just had this conversation. And I love him. He is a very good friend of mine, probably what I would consider a best male friend. So y'all know Joe. I think Joe has been somebody, he wants money. That's one. He did get it through his sister. Um, he wants people to look at him in a certain light. I get that. And I don't think he's a bad person. I think that sometimes when you don't have and you want, and I think it's really the nature of man. We want to be important. I think for me, I got out of what I cared what people start thinking, and I realized I was a total geek. And what I thought was cool was just me being nerdy, and might not be cool to somebody else. But as I've gotten older, I really don't care what you think is cool. So for me, Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, a VW Bug, those aren't really cute and sexy cars, but I liked them and I thought I was cool. This 2006 Scion I had, the box, I love a little square nerdy car. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was cool. But other people, they worried about what people think. Some people like, that's an ugly car. Okay, what's ugly to you? I don't really give a damn. I like it. Okay? Me and Joe had a conversation, and I know because some people, when they see him, how he carries himself, they think he's white. And so, one of the church mothers, when I introduced Joe, and later on I said, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah, something Mexican." She said, "Wait a minute, that guy that came with you to the house is Mexican?" I said, "Yeah, Joe Mexican." She go, "I thought he was white." "Oh no, my bird, he Mexican." Whole family, come from like 13, 14 kids, whatever. Shannon, I thought, what? No. I told Joe, he could tell he was happy about it. Okay? He happy that they think he's white. So later he gets in a conversation in the car, which was to justify the fact that he's happy that folks think he's white. I love him, but I'm like, dear God. And he almost made me mad. Because I think most of our cultures are rich in so many ways. But on top of that, also the how can I put it? What we go through and the fact that we have the tenacity to go through and go through every day, live every day and still exist every day, and in some cases even be kind with how foul we are treated in this country. Blacks, African Americans, Latinos, all across the board. And you want, especially at the hands of Anglos, pink folk, and you want to be them, and you have the nerve to check a box and say you're them, and you think that's a good thing. But again, that's the poison. That's the poison. That's the poison. He sat in a car and tried to justify to me why on an applications or on things that he applied for, well, it doesn't say, it just has white or black. So I checked. First of all, that's a lie. You what you're trying to do is justify. I ain't seen an application where it only says white or black, and it usually says white, black, or other. If those are only options, white and black, usually other. But it normally says white, black, and ethnicity, and it gives some choices. So you're not telling the full truth because now you have to leave the Native Americans out of there. And Native Americans, a strong Native American is not putting their white. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't know any Native American, and I know several. They ain't. They've been done over so dirty. They like we don't even associate with you on that level. We dealing with y'all as best we can because we don't have a choice because of the almost genocide you did to our people to come over here and rape our country anyway. I'm gonna go there. Okay. So in the car, and I started getting, and I had changed. We had changed subject because I knew the rabbit trail. So you do have people who want to identify because in their mind, because of the poison pill that white is better, they want to align themselves like that. That's how I worked at that ratchet trucking company, and Mexican folks align themselves with ratchet white people. Promotion, power, position, and money. That's why they did it. And they aligned right on up and would treat another minority like a piece of crap. I'm a witness. Experienced it. Saw it. That little Middle Eastern girl, by the time it was over with, the white people had weaved their web so well, they had a Mexican girl who actually went to physically do harm to that girl, and that girl had to call the police and threaten the girl. And they just weaved the web and put a minority against another minority. And you want to check a box and say you white. Well, and I hate to say it, and a lot of people ain't gonna like this. Even the Asian folks who have a turn and not like us for whatever reason. Some of it is because some folks do go up and act in ninjas in their places of business. But you have a certain idea and you've put all of us in a category. But then you thought you were better than us. And in Atlanta, when they started, and I'm not justifying what they did because I think it's foul. But Atlanta, when they started killing off the Asian folks and going up into those places and shooting them up, because they associated them with China and all that other stuff because they pink folks is ignorant on stuff, and they went in there shooting up places. I think the chicken came home and said cock-a-doodle-doo. Because it doesn't matter whether you're African American. It doesn't matter that you're Asian American. It doesn't matter if you're some type of form into the Latino community. In their world, they are better than you. And in an umbrella of things, we all ninjas to them. We have to be careful at what poison we let come on board because otherwise you'll be my buddy and think, even though he doesn't realize that Anglo people are not better than you and that you're looking up to them. Because if you really look at those, and I'm not going to say all Anglos because I don't believe that. Because I got Anglos in my family. I got the Rainbow Coalition in our family. We got Asian, Anglo, Child, I don't know if we missed a race. Between Grumpy side and my mom, I don't know if we missed the race. We didn't cover the rain. We didn't cover the gamut. I got everything, especially Grumpy. Grumpy got a whole bunch of everything up in there. I got a cousin, Asian. My best friend, she's Korean and black. I mean, we ain't miss too much. But you got Anglos who think they better. They think they better. And, okay, you go ahead and think you better than me. You go ahead and think you better than me. They think they better. Alrighty then. Again, we need to be very careful. We need to be very careful. And it saddens me that my buddy's like that. But it's his road. It's his lesson, and he gonna talk to God about it. And the sad part is, he comes from a very rich. The Latino culture to me is just like the black culture. We're very rich. When I say rich, let me tell you something. And this is what kills. And when I say rich, I mean this. You have a group of people who have tried to make us feel less. Even down Africans, let's go back to the food. We used to get the leftover, the stuff that master didn't want. Now you go into the South. The same stuff that your ancestors gave us, that was the scraps of the pig and the scraps of the cow, and we took that crap and made it taste good. Chitlins, or should we call shitlins? Because it's the shiznit coming out they behind. It's the intestines and stuff of the pig. Latinos took tripe on the same level. Okay? A cow's tongue. If y'all ain't never had lingua tacos, the Latinos walked around up in it. And I'm using food because y'all know food is my favorite thing. God forgive me, it is. But you take that kind of ingenuity with the junk, the nastiness of an animal, and you can take that and make it into a delicacy to feed your family and survive through horrid treatment. Ciao, bye. Bye. Shay love it. Shay said you have to understand the truth about misnomers to completely understand our government behind the 100%. It's a lot going on, and there's I'm watching stuff, and don't get me wrong. So, everybody, we got Christians now that supposed Christians. I'm gonna say supposed, the evangelicals. A lot of them are legalists. They don't have no relationship with God. They just legalists. They modern day Pharisees and Sadducees. Pharisees and Sadducees, if you don't know about them, again, go read your Bible. That was a religious group of people who cozied up to the politicians of the day, and they were more about their power. That's why when Jesus said, if you doing XYZ to be seen of man, they wanted to look as if they were religious and they were these highfalutin positions and they were all this, that, and the other bag of chips. He says, if this is what you're doing, you got your reward. You have your reward. Do you, boo-boo? Do you? You have your reward. You have your reward. Do you? Anywho, y'all. That's all I had to talk about today. I was gonna bring it. I'll talk. I'm gonna do a separate video on the hot sauce, and I don't have any here because I always usually have one sitting at the desk, but I've been cleaning up the desk, and I ain't got it sitting here. Hold on. I'm gonna put this down because I'm in my pajama pants as usual. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all these hot sauces. Then I'm gonna get off of here because I put it up in the front. So I'm gonna show y'all. All right, and this is gonna be the end of it for me. This one right here, jalapeno yellowbird. They out of Texas. Serrano, ghost pepper, blue agave sriracha, and I also have a habanero one. So habanero, I think, is in the room. I was watching a movie last night. Bomb. And my favorite two are the sriracha and the habanero. All of them are good, but they sriracha, and the sriracha is not as hot as regular sriracha. Matter of fact, it's a sriracha. Oh, and if you're vegan, it is, I think they kind of promote, the bottle is completely recyclable. It says all natural, contains no allergens. And I think most of it is like vegan, vegetarian type. And it's made in Texas. I was looking for different srirachas, and it came up, and they started showing it. Well, then I got to order the sriracha by itself. Then since I ordered the srirachas, then all their other stuff came up. I'm like, oh, and so you could order a box with all of their flavors, which is what I did. It was $27. So I ordered the box with all of their different flavors, which was I think five. I think it's five or six. I think it's five. Yeah, because I think the jalapeno blue, the sriracha, ghost pepper, serrano. You can see the serrano is pretty good. I like the serrano too. My favorite though is the habanero and the sriracha. And the reason the sriracha isn't used because I bought a separate. So I bought two srirachas separately, and then I saw the kit. So I was like, I'm about a kit. I do know the next time I may buy the whole kit again because in reality I got to see how much it costs for my favorites, which are sriracha and habanero, and I do also like the serrano. All of them are good, and I seriously I just put them on. If I make a breakfast burrito, I put them on there. Or if I put things with salsa, I put them in the salsa. They bomb. I bought ceviche the other night. I put it in the ceviche. It's bomb. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to get off of here. I hope y'all have a good night because we are now at 81 minutes. If anybody watches this later on, man, when y'all watch this, please give me a thumbs up. It does help me. And definitely share it out. I hope it blessed y'all. I know it's a little bit different conversation for me, and I hope it made sense to y'all. But it just kept bugging me, the mindset that we have when we look at the Bible. We look at deity, and we want to put racial stuff in there that's not what that book is fully about. And actually, that's not what the book is about at all. It's about salvation. It's about showing the history of man in conjunction with God. That's what it's about. And then how to redeem and get saved from the madness of choices of our ancestral history. Because in reality, we all stem from Adam and Eve. And therefore, we all are the same family. Things broke off at Tower of Babel and things changed. And for lots of good reasons. And people, balls were run with by different folk for different reasons, and the spirits behind those folks. You have to understand a lot deeper in order to go down that vein. So let's not use Bible, Jesus, as our catalyst for racial stuff. Although that was used in the beginning when we came over here as slaves. That's why we didn't get a full Bible. And why the depiction of Jesus was a white Jesus when in the flesh suit he came in. If that's what's important to you, he was not white. His suit was not a flesh white suit. He was a Jew, and Jews are not white. They are people of color. They only got accepted into the white category here in America once the folks that were in the white category numbers started diminishing. Then other groups could start being white as long as their skin wasn't chocolate like mine. Peace, y'all. 2 and 2.